part 3 of building this vegetable garden extension into the pond. To lob that in there. So the bit I did last time with his few sunny days has kind of set. It's still a bit squishy, but sort of set. Not really enough to step on, but if I put all my weight on that foot again, and that has set more. So this can easily be built another level on top of now. So I shall get a bit more of this pond turf and put it behind here, and then get some subsoil slop and put it here before I could do the next, and then do topsoil slop here, and then more turfs along there. That should be good. This pond turf is kind of good for going underneath, very grassy. On the outer side I like to have just topsoil, because when subsoil becomes saturated it can collapse. So yeah, I'll get this up behind here, and that's good. All this is set nicely, so that's good. This table is a bit in the way of where I'm walking to get the pond turfs from there. To where I'm walking that way, so if I just move it over a bit, that would be good. Maybe like that, and then that's not so in the way then, and then I can put my little chair there. That should be good. I can sit here and look at the work until the water's returned at the pond. The pond did come up a little bit with the rain we had, but because it's so dry and there's so much water soaking into the ground, it's gone down a bit, so it went up about 4 inches and then went down about 2. Pond turf is good for going along the back. It's got lots of like pond grass in it, but it's all going to be sort of buried. Just drain off the excess water, and then these are all going along the back here like that. But they will need to be trodden down a little bit, because I don't want like the air pockets, but they are kind of squishy, so that is easy. I don't want any air pockets, because as this sets it will all sag down, so if it's got air pockets then it will kind of sag. If it hasn't, this wet soil won't sag. Just make sure it's nicely trodden down, and then get some buckets of slop. This is nice topsoil and water mixed together to make topsoil slop, because this is going to be more on the outside, so it will things will grow in it more easily. It will hold together better, but of course I want it to set before it becomes fully covered in water. Come across here, and these are going to go here to create a nice kind of pliable surface here. So that one could go in there like that, and scrape all that off, and then see, that should be just about enough for there. And then this one can go next to it here like that, and then squish that down, so it's making a slight slope that way, and a very fine bit just over any air pockets on this level here like that, and here like so, and then you can go back and get some turfs. Just cut these turfs out so they're nice, sort of 2 lengths by 1 length-ish. Doesn't have to be exact. And then this side here. Right. And that makes a nice bit with a sloping face here. And that's going to be the edge of the bank that side. Just carry this over here. And then this one can go there like that, and break down those end bits there, and bash them into place with a bit of slop to hold it together, and then hold that there, bash that in a bit more, a little bit more slop along the edges like that, so there's no air pockets, and they've got a nice 45-degree slope, so it won't hopefully collapse. And a bit more there, and then get the other turf. Get a nice bit of balance there, and then this one can go there. That little bit of water mint can just stay sticking out like that. Break goes in like that, and then squish all that there to make it nice and steady, and splash it to the place I want it to be, and a bit in there, and a little bit in the front there, make it all a nice level slope. And then there's some of this slop between here, like that, making it up to this level. There's quite a lot here. That bit can go kind of there, and then this bit here, let's break up those lumps and just stick that in there. So it's all a nice kind of bit of the second level here, a little bit more in the back there, that one. And then do the same here with the slots, like this. Done a bit more along here now, and just building up this bit behind here with some solid kind of wet turf, so that I can then continue this other layer all along here and around here. I'm cutting this out in like an organised way, so like a line by line, and I use a shovel because the ground is so saturated, it just cuts through it really easily, and the shovel is kind of bigger than the spade. It's just taking the ground down here about 4 inches, like so, but it's that makes a lot of difference in a shallow swampy pond, whereas this bit was all dried out recently. That bit probably wouldn't have been. So put that bit up, tip the water off, and then take this over here, and then this next bit. So by all these pond grasses, I can see the bits that I haven't cut and quite clearly. Just loosen it, and then this way. Yeah, when the ground is saturated, it's much easier to cut through. Right, so get it nicely balanced up with that one, and drain all the water off it, like so, and then take this one off and take it over here. Always good to have it close by where you're getting it from, and that one can go in there. And then, this is all nice and wet, it's squished down to get rid of all the air pockets, so that when it rains and things, they won't sag any more than they have already, and it means the bank won't sag. I'll fill this side in here with drier stuff from up there, but then that can just sag down over time, that's fine. But the stuff behind the bank here is then nice and solid. Now I've got this section done here, I can now get some slop. I need to hack away at this, the edge of this slop quarry here, and break these lumps of topsoil up here, undercut these weeds, and then chuck any kind of big weed roots over there, and that's good. This stuff's very nice and nutritious, and very good for the outside of the bank. So I could fill up the lower part of the base of the bank with subsoil, but the outer parts I like to have a nice layer of topsoil. So this here glues the turfs together really nicely, like a kind of cement. See if I can get that big lump off. Oh, right there, right there, yes. Right. Now I'll untangle all these weeds. Quite a lot of weeds in that lot. Ah, stinging nettles. Big yellow stinging nettle roots. Don't really want the stinging nettles in the bank, so they can go over there. And then hack away out this. And there's nasty roots as well. You can go over there. And bindweed. There's quite a lot of roots, but at least I can kind of undermine them here, so I can kind of see where they are. And by undermining them, the roots are all hanging down, so you can just easily see them. That's good. So hack away there, like that, and just carry on like that and mixing it in until it's all nice and kind of sloppy. And after it's sort of soaked and been mixed a bit, then shove a little into buckets, being vigilant about any kind of remaining roots. There's a stinging nettle root there, a nasty big bit of bindweed there, and some other stuff there. Let's get all that out first. It's unlikely it will grow being buried, but it might do, particularly things like stinging nettles. Ooh, and another big chunk of stinging nettle in there. We don't want that. Right, so hopefully this next shovel won't have some mini weeds in it. No, quite a lot of weeds in this as well. That's a nasty, like a big umbelliferous swamp plant. Don't want that in there. Stinging nettles. Right. This will be very good for doing the first layer of the next layer of turfs on the bank. This will. I certainly don't want weeds in it, so I must be really careful that I don't introduce any plants, especially since it's going to be on the edge of the vegetable garden. If weeds appear, I can deal with them. If there's like a big established roots like that, then it might cause a bit of a difficulty. And then I can take these two off, whoa, to over here. And then these ones can make a nice squishy surface here. So you see, the level here isn't totally flat. So if I put turfs on top of that, there'd be the odd air pocket. So just by having a thin, sort of smooth layer of slop, just break up any lumps. And that gives a nice kind of cushion that sort of absorbs all the air pockets, which is really good. Just right over the whole thing, really. Like that, just forming a nice kind of layer. And there's a bit of a hole there, so that can go with some of the slop. And there's a stinging little root there, don't want that. Right, that can go like that. I always have it at a slight angle like that, it seems to work best. And then this slot here can tip onto there like that, and go along here like so. And then that bit there's then all ready for the layer of turfs to go here. And I cut these into the usual kind of blocky shape. Now this one is quite saturated because of this slop quarry water here, so it helps as well because it's more pliable, but it's not as sloppy as the ones that are totally submerged. Just prise that off like that, and maybe get another one as well. So when I've got like some rushes growing in it like that, make sure I don't have that bit near the edge, because they'll grow, but then it's like on the edge of the pond, so it doesn't matter too much, and they protect the water plants from the geese. So that's those two, and now roll that over and pick it up and take it off over here. And then this one here can go in here, following along from that line there, and break these back bits off to give a bit of support to the back there, and then make sure it's in exactly the right place so it's a nice 45-degree slope. And then I can start putting some of this just a little bit behind the support like that, so it doesn't kind of fall backwards, and so it make a nice holds it in place well. And then just put some of this along this underside bit here, and just squish it in with my fingers. Get rid of any air pockets there. Give it a good bash. Make sure it's nicely smoothed into place, like that. And then a nice big load and put it between these two like this. Squish that all in again, get rid of all the air pockets, and just get as much as I can there without it collapsing, and then let it set and then put another lot on. So, because this slop is quite runny, so it's quite runny. So I'm going to get this lump of drier stuff, just break it up a little bit, just apply it to there like that, another little bit here, and that just makes it a bit more supportive, but I don't think I want to go any higher than that at the moment. But if it's reasonably dry, that will be dry enough tomorrow to put another lot there. Ooh, now I've got this bit here which is a bit kind of puny, so I'm going to put it sideways like that, and break off the back bits again, and bash that in, and do the same with this lot here into there. Maybe break that off with it so it's a bit drier, support it a bit better. And there's a nice big dry lump in there which I could break up, and that can go there. And there's bits in here. I think that maybe a bit more at the back here. Let's hold that up. Another bit at the back. I don't think I could go too high with this one. I think probably, or maybe a bit of dry stuff there. Just put that in there. But yeah, I think that's probably about as high as I could go, because it only supports so much. The wetter it is, the less it supports. So that's kind of almost up to the top. That's really good. And then back to here again, and starting a new row here. And of course, what's going to happen when these turf rows eat back to here? Well, this slop quarry here is quite deep in places now, so I could always just break the dam. So probably on the next episode I'll break this dam, because this is all going to be a pond inlet one day going up kind of that way around the other side of the vegetable garden. So at one time or other it needs to be removed. It was higher originally. It's already gone down about 2 levels, because this is kind of the lower kind of levels of the topsoil here. It's not quite such a nice topsoil, but it's nice enough for bank building. So that one, and that's kind of a puny one as well. And this one can go here. I think this one could go this way around, like so. Not much to break off it because it's quite small. Just squish anything that's here with a bit of slop just there to hold it into place, like that. I think this one can maybe go just back a little bit because it's a bit sticking out forward there. So I want to make sure it's like sloping. And then some of this stuff here into the base here, like that, all the way along, like that. And then this lot could go in here, squish that into place. A bit more at the back, one there, and one there to give it a nice bit of support there, maybe up to there, and this is very runny at the bottom here, so I think I'm just going to put a load in, let it dry a bit, and just make that bit there, and I think that's about all it's strong enough to support. Of course, the wider the gap between the turfs, the less it can support. There where I've had a really narrow gap, I've been able to fill it right to the top, but on these two which have a wider gap, then I have to do it in 2 goes, but that's okay, it does dry quickly. This bit here is higher up, this is more exposed to the sun and the wind, so these bits like this dry much more quickly than bits of slop like down here. So high and dry, exposed to the wind, and a kind of thin layer as well. So I could go in there, and this last little bit, just go in there, and I go off to start the whole cycle again. This pond turf has also really oh, a bit of thunder there. There's a huge stroke of lightning just now, and now the thundery rain has started. See how long it will be on for. Right, so get this nice little bit over here. Would have to be a big unbalanced bit this time. Just drag that onto there somehow. Yeah, maybe just carry it. Alright, put this over here. It makes it very good for sticking behind here as support, preferably upside down, and to just give it that extra bit of support. And then when I build it up enough, and I can do another layer as well. Well, that was a bit hectic, and now all this area is water. The pond's gone up a bit with all that. It went on for quite a while. So, where did I get to? What was I doing? Oh yeah, this. Alright, another one of these out. It's harder to see them now, the water's a bit deeper. Right, that one's a nice kind of shape there. Cut it that size and loosen all those roots and just get it onto the shovel like that. Oh, and all the water off it. And then this one get chucked over there, building up a bit of support for this lot over here to make sure they're nicely trodden down. And then in the next episode I'm going to bring more of this stuff down to fill up this area. Next I'll get a couple more buckets of this topsoil slop here and I'll get across this bit here. Third level. So just here we'll put the same layer of slop here, creating a nice little slope there. It's just a bit ahead of time there, but it's nice to have a higher bit, and when it's nice and set, it's nice to anchor the other bits onto when they get down. So a bit more there, and a little bit there, and this bit here, this little gap which is sort of dried enough, now I can do this higher bit like that, and a little bit behind for support, like that. That's good. A little bit more over here and here, and then tip that last little bit in there, and then I think a nice little turf should fit snugly on that. I think this one should do. Getting closer to breaking the dam here, but I think that should occur most likely on the next episode. So we'll try that one out. A little bit further away so it's easy to grab. Quite a nice tall one there. Right. And then, yeah, that's good. There's a lot of height in that one. I'll carry this off. And this one should fit nicely here. Like that. Just push it into place. Break off some of these lumps at the back. Push them in. Like so. And then some of this little slot again under here, just spin at the side there, and here, that's nice, and then with the rest of it, to go behind for more support, yeah, that'd be good, and yeah, that puts it nicely there, that's a bit to get to. This part hasn't set yet. So I'll just put the rest of it here. I'm just going to tuck it in behind these ones. And then it'll be easy to do this next level along here. Just go pull that out and over there. So yeah, that's all kind of ready for next time. Just wash my hands off a bit. Soaking wet, so it doesn't really matter sitting in a soaking wet chair. I think there's some more lightning. That looks like we're going to get some more thunderstorms. So I've got it more above full water level. Certainly that third layer is definitely well above the full water level of the pond as it is at the moment. So that's kind of good. And all the bits that are 2 turfs high are above water level most of the time. And the water level has gone up dramatically with that last storm, but of course a lot of that will soak into the ground to kind of replenish the water table, but it sort of reminds me of the urgency to get this bit done, because when it is done above the water level, then I can just get materials from here and I don't have to step in the pond that much. So it's this bit here, it won't set if it's below the water level if it's saturated, so it needs a bit to be above water level, which I think currently is like about that high. So yeah, it's above water level here, so that's good. Most of it is. I guess I'm going to have to continue this one on next time. I'm going back to my wet chair over here again. Right. Ooh. So I hope you liked today's video. If you did, please like and subscribe. If you press the little me, which is somewhere down there, then you can see all my other videos. If you have any comments, please do ask. I love answering questions, that's really good. And what was the other one? Yeah, I'll see you next time.